Well, boys and girls, you asked for it, and it is coming. Well, maybe you didn't ask for it, but either way, the Corvette brand is set to launch in 2025, and it's going to be coming with a four-door and an SUV. So if you're a fan of the typical Corvette two-door, I got some bad news for you. But if you are a fan of an SUV, now having the Corvette branding, I have some good news for you. Let's jump right into it. All right, guys, so it seems like since the dawn of time that we have been hearing about Corvette possibly breaking off and doing its own thing. So instead of being a Chevrolet car, Corvette would just be the name of the manufacturer. Similar to how the Genesis brand came about after typically being a Hyundai thing. In this case, Corvette would break off from Chevrolet, be its own brand, make its own cars, and have complete control over anything that they put out. So if you can imagine buying a Corvette SUV or a Corvette four-door sedan or a Corvette luxury vehicle, that is something that is very likely to happen, and it has been rumored for at least the last 5 or so years. Now it seems like this may be coming sooner than any of us expected, and it is rumored right now to be coming in 2025. So just a little bit of a background here, guys. If you can think of companies like Lamborghini and Porsche, they both have done the same kind of thing with making SUVs that closely mirror their performance cars. They didn't necessarily break off of any other brand the way Corvette's planning to, but they did enlarge their customer base by going into a more widely accepted form of vehicle, so the SUV specifically. Whenever I say Lamborghini, most of you probably think about the Aventador or the Huracan, but now you're thinking about the Urus, the SUV style Lamborghini. And I'll be honest with you guys, I actually drove one, and it is without a doubt the best SUV that I have ever been behind the wheel of. So when it comes down to it, this is not necessarily a bad idea. The idea of your product being pushed out to more potential buyers, and if you do it right, the idea of your product being better than the other SUVs out there as well is a good idea. With all of that said, I do still have my concerns with Chevrolet or Corvette doing this, but at the end of the day, it could be a good thing. Now, as of right now, the Corvette brand is set to launch in 2025, like I said. So in 2025, Corvette will remove themselves from the typical Chevrolet umbrella, and they will be their own manufacturer, their own brand moving forward. Now, of course, Chevrolet is still the company actually building these things, but they're just under a different roof. Now, this particular news comes to us from the guys over at the Mid-Engine Corvette Forum, where they actually found the info on Car and Driver. So we're going to go over some of this, guys. Like I said, this has been a speculation for quite some time, so there is no guarantee that this is happening, but at the same time, this sounds a lot more legit than it has in the past. Now, originally posted by Car and Driver, it starts off by saying Corvette to launch as a brand in 2025 with a four-door and an SUV. These new EV spin-offs will reportedly aim to distill the essence of Corvette in terms of design and driving dynamics. And this stuff, guys, was just published yesterday, so November 29th, 2022. It says that the next move for GM with its valued Corvette nameplate will be to launch a Corvette sub-brand. It will include a four-door and a sporty high-performance crossover to partner the upcoming two-seater Corvette EV. The new Corvette lineup will be positioned well above its rivals, such as a future trio of electric Mustangs. Now, this article from Car and Driver goes on to say that a source who has seen the first proposals describes them as, quote-unquote, copies of nothing, and as, quote-unquote, encapsulated emotional purity. Now, this is a very strange way to describe a vehicle, but I get what he's trying to say. Basically, these are going to be brand new things. They're not going to look like a Chevy Blazer with some Corvette headlights. It's going to be its own thing. The mechanical package apparently includes battery packs with high energy density, super fast software, a patented cooling concept, staggered Lego-like topographic packaging, miniaturized componentry, ultra-efficient inverters, high revving electric motors, an 800-volt electrical system that provides up to 350 kilowatts of charging power, a 2-speed transmission, brake-by-wire, multi-mode 4-wheel steering, and torque vectoring. The Car and Driver article says that according to our friend from within the GM Tech Center, quote unquote, Corvette is not just a brand, it's a consistently evolving system paired with a dramatically different user experience. Now, the four-door and the crossover apparently are set to add new values to the brand by exclusivity and overt luxury. Thanks to a delicate balance of functionality and fashion, stats and style, and limited availability fueling high desirability, all three pillars are prepared for a pragmatic evolution of subsequent proliferation. Oh man, the wording of these articles, it gets me every time. The aim is not to beat the Taycan or the Cayenne at their own game, but to create three American legends capable of breaking new ground by making the essence of Corvette scalable. To do so, that essence must be at all times in the state of progressive flux. So there you have it, guys. That is just a long-winded way of saying that Corvette is going to become its own brand sooner or later. We've heard about this for the last couple years as rumors. It seems like it is coming closer and closer to fruition. And at this point, it looks like we're about 2-ish years away from it actually happening. When it does, we are guaranteed to get at least an SUV, possibly something that they're referring to as the four-door coupe, which is apparently more of a liftback. So we could potentially have 2 additional vehicles in the Corvette lineup that aren't your typical Corvette. Now, this comes in conjunction with the fact that we were just talking about how we have a couple new performance variants coming with the C8 Corvette that are going to likely be a hybrid and a full electric version. Now, it sounds to me like these 2 new Corvettes, being SUV and a 4-door coupe, are likely going to be fully electric as well, based on what they were saying the cars will include. Now, obviously, being a 2025, most of the manufacturers are pushing heavily for electric, like it or not. And by then, odds are very good we are going to have the majority of the car offerings as at least a hybrid offering. Anyway, guys, that is pretty much going to do it for today's video. If you liked what you saw, please smash that thumbs up button. Let me know you're liking the content so we can keep bringing these news articles out to you guys. I'm not necessarily thrilled about the idea of having a Corvette SUV, but at the same time, I figured it was inevitable. It's been something that's been talked about for quite some time now, so it was really just going to be a matter of time before it happened. All I can say is that I hope it doesn't end up watering down the Corvette brand and making it into something that we don't necessarily want. But if it's done correctly, it could turn into the situation with Lamborghini with their Aventadors and now their Urus cars. It is a great thing because it ends up playing out great to both crowds. Both of those cars can be hugely appreciated by pretty much anybody with a performance itch. But let me know what your thoughts are down below, guys. Are you excited to see a Corvette SUV? Let me know what your thoughts are so we can engage in a conversation about it. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. I'm going to have loads of content like this coming that you're not going to want to miss. And as always, guys, I will catch you in the next upload.